If you've been trying to pick between LemonSqueezy and Gumroad for your digital product, you've probably gone down a rabbit hole comparing fees and features and ended up more confused than when you started. So let me save you the headache. For a beginner, the fees barely matter, and most of the features don't either. What actually matters is which one gets you to your first sale with the least hassle. That's the only thing we're comparing today. I'm going to walk both of these through the eyes of a beginner with no audience and one product, and by the end, you'll know exactly which one to pick for where you're at right now. Step 1. Stop comparing fees. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They open up both platforms, pull up the pricing pages, and start doing math on who takes a slightly smaller cut. And look, I get it. Nobody wants to give away their money. But think about it. If you haven't made a single sale yet, what does a tiny difference in fees actually save you? A percentage of 0 is 0. You're stressing over a number that only matters once you're already selling a bunch. The fees on both of these are close enough that for your first product, it genuinely should not be the thing that decides it. The real question, the one that actually affects your bank account, is which platform makes it easiest for a stranger to find your product, trust it, and buy it. That's where we should be looking. So let's throw out the pricing tables and focus on the stuff that actually gets you paid. So what does a beginner actually need to make that first sale? Step 2. Define what a first sale actually needs. Let's get clear on this because it shapes everything. Say you've made a simple product, like a beginner crochet pattern pack. You've got no audience, one product, and you're not super techy. To make your first sale, you need 3 things, and only 3. A product that goes live fast before you lose motivation, a checkout that doesn't scare the buyer off, and the whole thing looking trustworthy enough that a stranger feels okay typing in their card details. That's it. You don't need email automations, fancy upsells, or a custom-coded store. All of that comes way later. So as we compare these 2 platforms, we're only judging them on how well they handle those 3 things, because that's what stands between you and your first dollar. Let's start with the first one, which is how fast you can actually get selling. Step 3. Compare how fast you can launch. This is where Gumroad really shines for beginners. It's stupidly simple to set up. You make an account, upload your crochet pack, write a quick description, set a price, and you've got a link to share in about 10 minutes. There's barely anything to figure out, which is perfect when you just want to get your product out there and stop overthinking. LemonSqueezy is also pretty straightforward, but it gives you a few more options during setup, which is great later, but can slow a total beginner down a little. So if your number 1 goal is to go from finished product to ready to sell as fast as humanly possible, Gumroad wins this round. It removes the most friction at the very start, but getting it live is only half the battle. What matters next is what the buyer actually sees. Step 4. Look at the buyer's experience. Now let's flip to the buyer's side, because this is what actually closes the sale. When someone clicks your link, what do they see and how does it feel to buy? Gumroad gives you a clean, simple product page and a quick checkout. It's familiar, it works, and tons of people have bought through it. LemonSqueezy, though, has a noticeably more polished checkout. It looks more modern and professional, and the whole buying flow feels a little more premium. For a cheap impulse product like a crochet pack, Gumroad's simplicity is totally fine. But if your product is priced higher, that extra polish on LemonSqueezy can make a buyer feel more confident handing over more money. So this one depends on your price point, but LemonSqueezy edges ahead on presentation. And presentation ties directly into the next thing, which is trust. Step 5. Check which feels more trustworthy. Trust is everything when a stranger is deciding whether to buy from someone they've never heard of. Both platforms are legit and handle payments securely, so neither one is going to hurt you here. Gumroad has been around a long time, and a lot of buyers recognize it, which gives it a sort of familiar comfort. LemonSqueezy's more modern, premium-looking checkout can make a brand new seller look more established than they actually are, which is a real advantage when you have 0 reviews and no reputation yet. Honestly, both clear the trust bar for a first sale. If your product is low-priced, the familiarity of Gumroad is plenty. If you're charging more, the polished feel of LemonSqueezy can tip a hesitant buyer over the edge. Okay, so both can get you that first sale. The real difference shows up a bit later. Step 6. Think about what happens after. Let's say your crochet pack takes off and you've made your first 50 sales. Now what? This is where LemonSqueezy starts to pull ahead, because it's built more for growing a real product business. It handles things like taxes for you more smoothly, it's set up nicely for selling multiple products, and it scales without you outgrowing it. Gumroad can absolutely keep working too, and plenty of creators run their whole business on it, but LemonSqueezy tends to feel more like a long-term home once you're serious. The thing is, this only matters if you actually get to that point, and you only only get there by making that first sale, which is why I'd never tell a beginner to pick a platform based on scaling features they're not using yet. So let's put it all together and actually make a decision. Step 7. Pick based on where you are. Here's my honest recommendation. No wishy-washy, they're both great nonsense. If this is your first product and you just want the absolute fastest, simplest way to start selling, go with Gumroad. It removes the most friction at the exact moment you need that, which is the beginning. Get your product up, get that first sale, build a little momentum. But if you already know you're building this into a real, long-term product business, you're planning to sell several products, and you want the more premium checkout from day one, start with LemonSqueezy so you don't have to switch later. Both will get you your first sale. The right one just depends on whether you're trying to start fast or build for the long haul. So stop stressing over fees and features and pick the one that fits where you actually are right now. Which one are you leaning toward, and what's the first product you're trying to sell? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.